The videos we're about to watch are highly disturbing. We will be watching videos based on a lot of secrets that celebrities have tried to hide from us. That being said, let's get into it.
A man found $7.5 million in a Storage Wars unit that he bought for $500. Later, he negotiated with the original owners who paid him $1.2 million to get the money back. He might be the stupidest man in the world respectfully and has never heard of the universal rule, finders keepers, losers weepers.
No way, bro, give it back. Oh my god, you're crazy.
Do not let your child get on the school bus this morning, and you need to call the police, as if you don't, whatever happens to your child next is your own fault. Parents were terrified after 29 children in Sumter County, Florida were heard screaming and crying on a school bus as a speeding train ripped past just centimeters from the back of it. And as the sheriff put it, trains don't sneak up on people. Haunting audio from inside the bus captured the driver saying, "Not gonna stop for no train," and then proceeding directly across the tracks after the warning lights activated. The bells went off and the crossing arms came down, with children on board screaming "train," trying to warn her, and she kept going. But it gets much worse, as the driver had worked with the district since 2015, passed every single evaluation, received nothing but good and excellent reviews for over a decade, and not a single person in the system ever flagged a concern, meaning every parent trusted a perfect record that meant absolutely nothing. She was charged with 29 counts of child neglect and then walked out the next day on just $30,000.
A UFO researcher who unalived himself said he would never do such a thing 2 days before he unalived himself.
Every day that I have on Earth is a gift and a blessing, and I'm very grateful for that because, frankly, people are disappearing. Scientists are going missing.
He knew.
Now they're saying they're going to investigate this. The president himself is saying they're going to look into this and see if anything's going on. It's a little bit scary.
This does not sound like a man who was planning on unaliving himself. This is a scary time for people who are speaking up and going against the narrative. Be safe out there, y'all. Stay weird.
These scientists that have been unalived suspiciously, they knew they were being hunted. They knew the shit they were exposing would get them unalived.
I started it as a public-facing persona to disclose anti-gravity technology through, because I told Mark this. If you stick your neck out in public, at least someone notices if your head gets chopped off.
And what did David Wilcock say 2 days before he was unalived? Right after finding out his biographer was suspiciously unalived.
Scientists are going missing. Now they're saying they're going to investigate this. The president himself is saying they're going to look into this and see if anything's going on. It's a little bit scary, I got to say. Anyway, it's a very exciting time to be alive, man. It's a very exciting time to be here on Earth.
Does that sound like a guy who's going to end his own life
Not
2 days
all.
later?
No.
I don't think so. He's been saying this will probably happen to him for years. Years. And the Boulder police are saying that he was having mental health issues and turned the weapon on himself. I'm suspicious of that statement. I think it's time people go back and look at all the shit he was exposing before it's scrubbed from the internet. And all these other researchers. At least they're making the truth easier to find. So there's that. And as always, I am of sound mind and will not do that. Because it's a very exciting time to be alive.
If you search the internet long enough, you are bound to see some pretty sick shit. This is a series where we talk about some of the most disturbing videos on the internet. The video is titled Red Asphalt, and as always, viewer discretion is advised, and that this entire thing is for educational purposes only. Red Asphalt is specifically a compilation of videos showcasing fatal car crashes. After reading this comment saying that they were surprised this was shown in driver's ed, it actually makes perfect sense. Because not all of these videos, but most of them are people doing stupid shit on the road, which you should absolutely not fucking do, because you're going to endanger yourself and other people on the road. But the truly disturbing thing about this entire video is that there are multiple volumes of this. And I'm going to assume that every single one of these that is shown in the compilation was a fatal crash. It all ranges from speeding to illegally passing to a rock slide, car fires, near misses with pedestrians, you name it, this entire compilation shows it. This is one of the only times, you know what, I actually think everybody should see videos like this because this will deter you from doing stupid shit on the road. Watching just 2 minutes of the compilation is a grim heavy reminder to always be careful of your surroundings when operating a motorized vehicle and to follow the specific safety laws designated to that road. Yeah, I actually think it was very smart for driver's ed to show a bunch of the kids exactly what could happen when you're doing stupid shit. Maybe that'll scare them to becoming a better driver, and maybe it'll scare you into becoming a better driver as well. These images were just from Red Asphalt Volume 1. I think there's like 7 volumes. It's not the most disturbing video because I feel like every time I open Instagram, I at least see one of these. But if there is a really disturbing video that's completely seared into your brain, let me know in the comments below.
The Olsen twins are going viral on Twitter right now because someone pointed out something so shocking that you don't even know you're looking at when you're looking at them. This is something we see in people who have a particular profession, and when they come back from deployment, have a similar look in their eyes. We have before and after pictures to show you. This is absolutely shocking. What are they doing to people in Hollywood, these actresses, these actors in Hollywood, and what is making them, well, wait until you see this. So this is before, okay? This is about 2008 or 9. Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, ready to take on the world. Fame, fortune, happiness. Woo! And this is recent. Hollowed eyes. And I'm not talking about aging. No one say they're just aging, because there's something else going on here. They look hollow. They look empty and sunken. Now, the most recent picture, I don't even know if this is AI, man, because that is just like heavy surgeries and whatnot. But this is the crazy part. This is a World War I veteran before and after. Shell shock. Immense psychological trauma, which changes the way they look. In 4 years, it looks like he aged about 40 years. And this guy, veteran, World War I, shell shock, seen a lot. Are we looking at people with severe traumas that they have never discussed publicly, that we don't even know is going on behind the scenes? My thoughts and prayers truly do go out to these poor little girls who got involved in a system and an organization and whatnot that I fear has done something and does things consistently and often, and it's part of the plan. So bless their souls. Comment your thoughts below and follow for more.
Wilcock, a well-known UFO researcher, has died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound a day after he said he loves his life and was exposing everything that's going on with all the missing scientists that NASA is looking into. You heard that right. So this is David Wilcock. He's a well-known author, a YouTuber, UFO researcher. He was on the show Ancient Aliens. OG noticer, OG whistleblower, right? Now, as you may or may not know, there are a bunch of missing scientists that were all tied to the same projects that had to do with aerospace and, crazy stuff that they're working on. Meaning these people saw some stuff that they weren't supposed to see, and now they're all missing. Now, at first it was 1, then 2, then 10, and I think there's something like 13 now. And, David Wilcock makes a live stream talking about this, how NASA's finally looking into it, and Trump's finally looking into it, and that this pattern is not by mistake, and that there's something definitely going on. People are missing. He says it is scary. He then says that he appreciates every day on this planet. Every day that God gives him is a blessing, that he loves it. And then, after he does this stream, it's reported that he dies from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. This man was not suicidal.
Thank you.
This man was an OG noticer. He put out his final message.
That's crazy.
And then was gone. I really don't think that he did this, guys. And I mean, if you look at the pattern, there is a lot of people that are going missing. A lot of people are scared to even talk about this. And I will say, rest in peace to David Wilcock. He said that we're going to find out the truth very soon. Something big is coming. It's going to be so big that we're not going to be ready for it. He claims that we all need disclosure and we're going to get it soon. It's just very sad that he didn't live to see it. But people are saying this had to be an inside job. Let me know what you guys think of this in the comments. My name is AT. I just got banned at 5.7 million followers when I started covering news like this. So like and follow for more so you keep seeing my videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. But what's going on is honestly insane.
Yeah, it's way past a coincidence at this point. Like, come on.
New reports are saying that child porn was found on David's phone, along with prosecutors also noting that they have 40 terabytes of discovery in the case against the singer who is facing homicide charges. We have the autopsy back for Celeste Rivas Hernandez telling us the cause of death, but also telling us that Celeste was missing an eye, 2 fingers on her left hand, including the ring finger where she had David's name tattooed, and several other penetrating wounds aside from the main 2 that the medical examiner stated was her cause of death. Also, another weird thing to note, but in the report it says Celeste was 15 at her time of death, What I don't see others reporting that I find interesting is that not only did the initial tox screen show that she was positive for MDMA/methamphetamines, but benzodiazepines as well. If you're not familiar, benzos are like Xanax. The final confirmed report showed that she was negative for all of these. The autopsy report outlined penetrating wounds of the torso with smooth edges that may represent sharp force injuries. And that's another thing to note. It's not saying she was stabbed, it's saying sharp force injuries. So we are uncertain of what type of weapon was exactly used. It further described a wound measuring 3/4 of an inch in length and 1.5 inches deep on her upper abdomen, which had penetrated the liver. A second wound measuring 9/16 of an inch in length and 2 inches deep was located on her left chest, penetrating one of the left intercostal spaces with disruption of the adjacent ribs' cortical surfaces. So the cause of death is multiple penetrating wounds, which if we look at the medical examiner's body diagram, the word being used is defect to describe these wounds, which are here and here. But if we look at the second page of the diagram, we can see there are more of these defects here and here, and then it says multiple defects on her back here. Her hand is also marked and states multiple linear abrasions. We can almost certainly assume those particular wounds are from her fighting to stay alive and sustaining these wounds during the fight. Prosecutors allege Burke killed Rivas Hernandez because she threatened to report they had a sexual relationship that began when she was 13 years old, and he feared it would ruin his rising career. A criminal complaint alleges he killed her with a sharp object and dismembered the body about 2 weeks later. The medical examiner's investigators called to the scene where the body was found, discovered her torso and head in a black zippered body bag in the Tesla's trunk with arms and legs in a separate trash bag. Her body was so degraded that examiners couldn't even determine her eye color. She had braces at the time of her death and a tattoo that read on the inside of a finger, according to the report. Her arms and legs were dismembered, and in a black trash bag beneath the body bag where insects were present. Toxicology tests on the liver showed a low level of alcohol, but it may have been due to post-mortem chemical changes and didn't appear to be a factor, the report said. David literally had a music video of him cutting an arm off a girl and stabbing her in the chest, and he literally did the exact same thing to Celeste. I'm going to keep following this case as it happens, so follow for more.
That's insane.
Okay, now there are even more people being added to the list of scientists, officials, and people who went missing or passed away under mysterious circumstances connected to things like aerospace. First, let's talk about Amy Eskridge. She was a Huntsville, Alabama-based researcher who founded the Institute for Exotic Sciences in Holocron LLC, where she claimed to be developing advanced propulsion technologies like anti-gravity. And if you didn't know, Huntsville is also called Rocket City. It's home to NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center and the Redstone Arsenal. Hey, wasn't that guy who tried breaking into Area 51 recently? Didn't he claim to be a scientist from Redstone Arsenal? Huh. Anyway, in June 2022, Amy was found unalived. Officially, it was ruled as self-inflicted, and even her father came out recently because everyone's talking about this, and he was saying that there was nothing suspicious about what happened to her. But people have been asking questions because of all of these other researchers, scientists, and officials that this kind of thing has been happening to. And you have to wonder, is there a connection here? In a resurfaced interview from 2020, Amy suggested that her work could have major implications for future propulsion systems and might even explain how UFOs operate. She also talked about disclosure and mentioned that what we think of as aliens are actually us from the far future, coming back in time after some calamity. And that if disclosure was ever to come from anywhere, it would come out of Huntsville, Alabama. Now, before her death, Amy was also publicly talking about how everything turned upside down in her life after she claimed to have cracked anti-gravity, and was planning on releasing foundational research after getting approval from NASA. She believed she was being targeted, and even had an instance where her hands seemed to have gotten burned, which she claimed was through someone beaming a device through her office window, something that also affected the glass in that window.
That's
and
weird.
One of the most bizarre things I've come across with looking into this case is this leaked collection of unsettling text messages between her and a coworker. Check some of these out and pause to read. Now, I'm not quite sure what to make of all of this. It's possible that this was a real struggle with mental health issues, as the official story says, or maybe there really was some kind of foul play involved. Either way, the whole case is bizarre, but let me know what you think in the comments, and if you think there is a connection to everything else that's going on here.
Trump's Messiah complex is literally coming from his spiritual advisor, Paula White Cain.
I am the chosen one.
Saying no to President Trump would be saying no to God.
I had every right and authority to declare the White House as holy ground because I was standing there, and where I stand is holy.
What part of the White House is holy when it's designed in a Greek, Masonic, occultic, demonic pentagram following an alchemical grid? And also, what makes you think you are tweeting on holy grounds when you're saying you're going to destroy a civilization overnight? 90 million people. You just tweeted that? That's just insane to me. Anyways, this is my driver, and this is the timeline we're living in. I just don't understand. I didn't sign up for this. I did not.
Okay, I thought you guys were making this up. There's an old clip going viral right now of Selena Gomez at the Ellen show, and she literally tells Ellen that there was a camera in her bathroom.
Can I tell you something? Yes, what? So I thought that you were gonna scare me when I came in. I don't know why. So in my dressing room, you have the bathroom with the cameras. So I put towels all over the camera, and I went and peed in Kobe Bryant's dressing room. Because I was scared.
Here's the thing. Ellen has always been scaring celebrities on her show. Remember when she did it to Taylor Swift?
Oh.
That's so weird, though. Having a camera.
So you would think that Ellen would do the same
in
thing
her
to her best
bathroom.
friend Selena, but people think that she looked mad in the video after Selena confronted her about it. I mean, it is weird to have cameras in the bathroom. I think if I went into a bathroom somewhere and I saw cameras staring at me, I would probably get out of there. So what do you guys think? Were they trying to record Selena in a sinister way, or was it all just for fun and pranks?
And it's a nice...
This has to be one of the most disturbing photos I have ever seen. Behind me is the bare bones of an animatronic head for Jack Nicholson's werewolf film in 1994. We didn't have CGI to make werewolves back in the day. We had to use animatronics and do it all by hand. And if you look closely, you can see the immense detail they went into making these things. This animatronic was full of motors, metal hinges, and joints so it could be manipulated to making the faces they wanted for the film. Mad respect to the guys that worked on these animatronics because the attention to detail is unreal. And these things were so well designed that they could manipulate the face of the character to kind of get it to do whatever they wanted, which is important if you want to make the film actually high quality. I can't imagine what it was like for the people who weren't working on these animatronics pulling up to the set early in the morning and the lights are kind of off and this thing's kind of in the corner. You can see a faint kind of shadow, only to turn on the lights and see this shit staring at you. Anyways, I'd love to hear what you guys think about this animatronic in the comments below, and follow me for more interesting videos.
I really don't find it coincidental that I start talking about Madonna siphoning younger people's energy, and then she shows up at Coachella with Sabrina Carpenter. Wow, it's like it's her fucking MO. Also, what is this? What is this? That's like not even half a tooth, babe. This is clearly an edited photo and probably AI, because this is what it really looked like on stage when she was performing with Sabrina. Like, this is creepy. This is scary. That's not Madonna. That's not Madonna. That's some being inside of Madonna's body, using her body as a vessel to siphon younger people's energy. Listen, I think that Madonna was big in the 80s, and that's it. After that, she has just latched onto younger artists. And when you are a younger artist, you are told Madonna is the queen of pop. Madonna is an icon. Madonna, Madonna, Madonna. And so then you are like, okay, yeah, Madonna's the queen. I need Britney Spears kissed Madonna. Look what happened after that. Britney Spears got into Kabbalah because of Madonna, and then she from 2003 to 2006, I believe, is when Britney was practicing Kabbalah. Then she said she stopped practicing Kabbalah. Madonna did that music video with Britney Spears. Britney didn't really want to do that video with Madonna. Madonna latches onto younger people, younger artists, younger kids. She also likes to surround herself a lot with black kids. It's giving like she's head little and she is doing rituals and she is siphoning energy. I don't think y'all need any more proof. Like, this is crazy. Sabrina, you can have whatever you want. Madonna, do you really mean that? Sabrina, yes. Close off my bag. These young artists, they probably don't realize what they're doing. They are giving themselves up. Let's just keep an eye on Sabrina. Let's just keep an eye on Sabrina. Let's see if she starts looking like she's on Ozempic. Let's start seeing if she gets, starts seeming a little dehydrated, malnutritioned. If things start going a little crazy, cuckoo bananas for her, like they did for Britney Spears. I'm just saying it's just interesting that Madonna latches onto these people and then shit starts being weird for them.
We're all living in different realities. That's why none of this makes sense.
I don't think enough people realize that neuroscience shows that you don't live in the same reality as anyone else. And I'll tell you why this is so important, but first, the science. Every single person's brain is constructing a different version of this world. Yeah. This is how the brain works. It doesn't show you reality, it shows you your version of it. You don't even see the world with your eyes. Your eyes just take in light signals. And then those light signals travel through the brain where your thoughts, emotions, memories, and belief systems are all incorporated before the image is put together that you see. You don't see the world as it is, you see the world as you are based on the way your brain is wired. And this is important because it perfectly explains why you should not listen to what anybody says or thinks about your life. Because any rules or advice that anybody gives to you is based on their version of reality, their limits, their possibilities, their brain's wiring. And I'll give you an example because everybody says you need to post every single day on social media to grow a platform. I have never done that, and I have almost 2 million followers on here. Trying to play the game of life by somebody else's rules is like trying to play Mario Kart while following the rules of Call of Duty. It doesn't make sense.
This explains so well why people disagree in life and have different opinions. We're all living in a reality we constructed based on how our brain is wired. Stay weird.
Okay, this image is going viral from Argentina in 2014. So this is before AI. Baby being baptized. No big deal, except when I move my head, you will see something that is 1 in a billion odds, if not more. And clearly this isn't odds and ends. This is an intentional thing that happened that is a miracle and is mind-blowing. We have water droplets forming the rosary off this baby's head. And this isn't the first time this has happened and been photographed. Here's another one, baby being baptized, except this was in Brazil, I think last year. And as the water droplets fall, a rosary forms. Dude, go pour water on something. Go pour water on a ball.
What are the odds of that
not
happening?
usually see a freaking rosary show up. But this isn't the craziest image I wanted to show you yet. This image literally shocked the world when a girl named Amanda Foster posted it to her Facebook page, her personal Facebook page, of the ultrasound to her baby with the hand of God appearing in the ultrasound. And I will tell you, the going theory is like, this is not the placenta or something that's in a messed up way that kind of is on the baby's face. What else does it look like? And the crazy part is they've been praying and praying and praying for babies because apparently they had a number of complications in between or to have their first child. And so it was a very emotional moment getting this ultrasound because it was going to tell them, I guess, if there's this problem or if they're good to go. Well, the hand of God shows up and the baby was born miraculously, healthily, and great. The other interesting thing is that the thumb literally is like impressed into the cheek of the baby. What else do you call this? Would you call it the hand of the Big Bang? The hand of evolution? People are beginning to realize, I think, en masse, that ask and ye shall receive. People are in unfortunate situations and circumstances, and they almost like they get fueled by the fact that they're in this unfortunate state and they'll talk about it all the time. But will they put in the work to express gratitude for what they already have and then ask for more? And isn't that quote that he takes away from those who are unhappy with what they have and who have very little, but those who have a lot, who are grateful for what they have, get even more. There's a quote, something that goes like that. You got to be grateful because gratitude is one of the highest human frequency emotions. Every time the sun rises, you should be absolutely rivetingly thrilled. I don't say you should. I'm not going to tell you what you should, would, could do, but it's very good to be grateful. But let me know your thoughts about this beautiful divine synchronicity intervention in the comments below and follow for more. Now, if you made it this far, I should say that there's a whole lot more I'm going to be posting, but I do want to mention that right now Chalk is giving away free bags of the organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia. This is the Chalk Lit Powder. Super detoxing, freaking delicious. And if you combine that with the hot water purified shilajit or the ashwagandha, you're getting some of the most potent superfoods in the natural world. I'm talking fertility, brain function, hormones, energy levels, cognition, and your pineal gland. Comment free below and check your DMs for details. Breaking news in Finland, which you may at first think like, this is no big deal, who cares? No, this needs to happen everywhere, dude. So Finland replaced the rubber playgrounds, the mats on the bottom, with mud and dirt, and kids got healthier within a year. What isn't mentioned in this image, though, is the study they did in Denmark, which Denmark has now banned these rubber mats because it was like soccer players or something were getting sick from the constant exposure to heavy metals, because this is like old tires, all kinds of stuff. It's a ton of heavy metals. You get it on your feet, hands, face, fingers, it ends up going in your mouth. You eat something later. Total exposure to this stuff. And of course, we know that mud and dirt for kids is what builds their gut microbiome. It is what builds their whole immune system, if immune systems are even real. But we know it's good for us to be in the natural world. Synthetic rubber full of heavy metals is not natural. Alternatively, they could use natural rubber, like latex, literally straight from the tree, but that's going to cost an arm and a leg. They're not going to do that. Let's just go to the good old-fashioned mud and dirt. Now, if you know how many heavy metals and pesticides and GMOs and fluoride we're exposed to, you may think it's important to be detoxing that stuff, and you would be correct. Well, right now, Chalk is giving away free $100 bags of the organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia, the Chalk Lit Powder, which is super detoxifying and delicious. And if you combine that with the hot water purified shilajit, you're detoxing the metals, you're boosting fertility, you're increasing brain function. I mean, this stuff is literally clinically studied to boost the production of new brain cells. It's called neurogenesis. Comment the word free below and check your DMs for details.
Town in California is banning pickleball. So this town called Carmel by the Sea is looking to ban pickleball at their public park. Now the reason for this ban is the popping noise caused by pickleballs hitting the rackets and the court. Now there's already a temporary ban on the sport, but the city is about to vote to make that permanent, and anyone playing pickleball on the banned court will get a warning from the police for a first-time offense.
If you stopped a random person on the street in the northern hemisphere and said, hey, which direction does a tornado spin? They would probably say, why are you asking me that? That's a weird question. But then they would probably say counterclockwise or cyclonically. And they would be right 98 to 99% of the time. But every once in a while, and it is incredibly rare, a tornado will spin backwards. They will spin clockwise instead of counterclockwise or anticyclonically. And generally, anticyclonic tornadoes are very weak and don't generally do much damage if they're recognized as a tornado at all. Except for one tornado in particular on the morning of April 4th, 1981 in West Bend, Wisconsin. Just a few minutes after midnight on that April 4th night, a storm that had formed in western Wisconsin was moving eastward towards the town of West Bend, Wisconsin. As it did so, it began to form into a bow echo that appeared to be relatively weak on radar. Now, bow echoes are known for producing some straight line winds and the occasional tornado, although they are relatively rare. In this particular case, this storm appeared to have cloud tops that were only about 26,000 feet, which is a relatively weak storm, all things considered. And because it appeared that the storm was continuing to weaken, the National Weather Service only issued a severe thunderstorm warning for this storm. At the time, in West Bend, police did not activate tornado sirens for severe thunderstorm warnings, only for tornado warnings. So when a tornado touched down just west of town and traveled northeast through town itself, there was no tornado warning, there was no tornado siren that was activated. No one was aware that an F4 tornado was currently traveling through the town of West Bend. Almost as soon as the tornado touched down, it immediately produced F3 to F4 damage, and within just a few seconds of touchdown and continuing on the ground, it caused 3 fatalities, and in the end, after traveling through the town, it would cause an additional 53 injuries. It was determined that the West Bend tornado damaged at least 140 structures, causing $25 million in damage. And to this day, it still remains the strongest anticyclonic tornado on record and the only violent anticyclonic tornado that has ever been recorded.
This man locked his daughter in the basement for 24 years and forced her to have 7 of his children. It's one of the most notorious kidnappings in history and a crime that truly shocked the world. Josef Fritzl and his wife Rosemary had 7 children, but Josef always had a very bizarre obsession with his one daughter Elizabeth and began essaying her when she was only 11 years old. Josef says that he chose Elizabeth because she was the daughter that most resembled his own mother. Like, yuck. His wife, Rosemary, claims that she had no idea that this abuse was going on, but it is important to note that after they were married for about 10 years, Josef spent a year in prison for breaking into a woman's home and essaying her at knife point. So this woman definitely knew the man that she was married to. Elizabeth tried multiple times to escape her father's abuse by running away, but since she was a minor, she would always be brought back home by the police, no questions asked. So when Elizabeth turned 18, she was a legal adult now. She planned to move out. She had a job all lined up. She had all the plans set, but her father, Josef, could not allow this. It was shortly after Elizabeth turned 18, her father, Josef, asked her help bringing down a heavy door into their basement. For the past 6 years, Josef told his family that he was redoing the basement so he had a place to work, but what he was really doing was building a secret prison underneath the family home. And the door that he asked Elizabeth to help him bring down would be the door that she would be locked behind for 24 years. Elizabeth was locked down in the basement, no sunlight, no fresh air, nothing to do, no one to talk to. The only person she would see would be her father, Josef, her captor, when he would come downstairs to bring her small amounts of food and water and to essay her. Elizabeth's mother, Rosemary, and the rest of the family are concerned about where Elizabeth went, so they went and reported her missing. So Josef forced Elizabeth to write a letter to the family saying that, she ran away, don't look for her. So her case was closed. After 5 years of captivity, at the age of 23, Elizabeth gave birth to her first baby all alone, and this would be the first of 7 children she was forced to have with her own father. One of these babies was sadly born very, very sick. Elizabeth begged Josef to take the baby to the hospital, but he didn't because he thought it would blow his cover. So the baby sadly passed away after only being 3 days old, and then Josef put its body in the furnace. Josef did not think there was enough room in the basement for all these babies that Elizabeth was being forced to have, so Josef allowed Elizabeth to keep her 3 older children. But when she gave birth to the 3 younger children, Josef stole them from her, you guys, and then he would wrap them up, put them in a basket, and then put them on the front porch step for his wife Rosemary to find. Then Josef and Rosemary would raise these babies, and Josef would attach each baby with a little note from Elizabeth, their long-lost daughter, saying that she had this baby, but she was leaving it on the doorstep because she couldn't raise it.
Okay, you need to see this video of the astronauts who got out of the, well, I was going to say ship, but obviously we know they just got out of the studio here. So this is an image of a reporter filming these other reporters who are taking pictures. And if you look closely, something seems kind of strange that you may have missed. So in a moment, you'll be able to see the phone screens of these people taking pictures. Watch their phones. There is no orange in front of them. This girl's taking an image pointed directly at them. You don't see any orange on her phone screen. The other guy was taking pictures too. No orange. And it continues. So people are wondering if there's like a green screen in front. Who knows? We also know all of the strange symbology that's in their Apollo mission patches and all that. But look, where's the orange, man? He's pointing right at him. And then this next girl, same thing. And she's what, 15 feet away, 10 feet away maybe? There's his phone pointed at him. No orange. And it looks like she's pointing it at his back, but she's way too close to him to that be that. So this makes no sense. So all I'm saying is this doesn't really help the allegations that this whole thing was fake. Guys, it's evident they want you weak, they want you docile, and they want your pineal gland calcified. If you think it's important to be decalcifying, boosting your system naturally, and detoxing, right now Chalk is giving away free $100 bags of the organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia, the chocolate powder, which not only boosts stem cell production, but it's super detoxing and delicious. And if you combine that with the hot water purified shilajit, you're getting some of the most powerful adaptogens in the natural world. Comment the word free below and check your DMs for details.
Okay, we're actually all so fucked. Turns out our phone is actually giving us something called popcorn brain. And it might even explain why you haven't gotten that promotion you've been waiting for. Popcorn brain happens when your brain becomes addicted to constant high-fast stimulations. mostly attributed to short form content like TikTok or Instagram Reels. This is going to make your brain start processing information at an unnatural pace. So when something actually requires real focus, like doing something at work, like writing an email, it's going to start feeling really uncomfortable. And this might explain why some people make more money than others. Most high-paying skills actually require deep focus. But scrolling on your phone is going to train your brain for speed. And once your brain gets used to that, deep work is going to start to feel a lot harder. As a former 8-hour-a-day doom scroller myself, I've dealt with this already. I would try and sit down and get some work done, but I would pick up my phone every 2 minutes and start scrolling. So I went ahead and downloaded this new app on the App Store called Spool. And the reason Spool is so effective at lowering screen times is because it actually forces you to give a written or spoken reason before entering something. So instead of just automatically opening up the app like you're programming yourself to do, you have to consciously decide and give a valid reason. Small pause is going to break your automatic scrolling loop, and it's going to make it really easy to stay away from your phone. This is going to help you in your career. This is going to help you in your social life because your attention is the most valuable asset that you have, and it is a very finite amount. And people who can control their attention for long periods of time usually end up further ahead.
Okay, let's do something we've never done before. This video was taken in Virginia of the sky on someone's deck camera at night. So they're spraying at night. But here's the question. If you truly think that that these are just condensation, there's nothing nefarious going on, etc., comment below and do the thing that one guy did where it says, prove me wrong. He sits in front of a university with the things, blah, 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 prove me wrong. Like, why is it, you got to ask yourself, that millions and millions of people are saying, I swear, man, there's something strange going on in our skies. We got to do something about it. But then other people are like, there's no way, that's impossible. Open up the conversation in the comments. Why do you think they're spraying? What patents do you know of? Let's educate people so they understand we are facing like an existential thing here that's going on that also was prophesized, by the way. We have whistleblowers on it. There's patents. There's technologies that are involved in this that you can look up on Google. Weather control, food control, projects that are declassified now. Because it's 2026, man. You can't still be willy-nilly thinking your sky's a gray haze after 55 planes fly by, and that's just condensation that dims the sun. And the next part, which is equally important, is to be detoxing this stuff. Get the heavy metals out of you, get the microplastics, the nanofibers, the polymers, the nanobots. I'm not even going to talk about that on here. Right now, Chalk is giving away freebies and superfoods to help people detox. This is $100 bag of organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia, which binds to free radicals and excretes them out of the body. We're talking about major bioactive compounds here, which boost your gut microbiome and stimulate stem cell production. And if you combine that with the hot water purified shilajit, you're getting some of the most powerful adaptogens in the natural world. Comment the word free below and check your DMs for details.
A wild and crazy debate has taken social media by storm. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it took place in New York City, Manhattan, to be specific. A woman was walking down the street when a gentleman told her she had pretty toes. The woman then turned to him and said, I feel unsafe because of your remarks. Take a look at the exchange.
I feel unsafe because you're commenting on my fucking pretty toes.
Then you have a problem.
If I feel unsafe, no, go ahead, say it again.
You're recording us. I'm recording you
Yeah,
too, Karen. You feel unsafe because somebody gave you a compliment
about my pretty
about
toes.
Your toes.
Weird,
You have
right?
An issue.
Okay, let's see. So sorry for what you're going through. Have a great day.
You too, Karen.
I'm a Karen because I don't want to have my body complimented.
So if you kind of think about it, she sort of kind of has a very valid point here. And why do I say that? Because I normally do not walk around and walk up to women and go, wow, you have pretty toes. That does sound a bit weird. But did she take it to another level? Let me show you what her feet actually look like and you judge for yourself. This is a screen grab from the video she uploaded where she showed what she was wearing. She's actually wearing nylons with sandals. You can't even see her toes. So my question is, what were these two guys referring to? So some people in the comment section have been split, with a lot of them saying that this gentleman sexually harassed her by talking about her feet. And other people said that she's just being a Karen because she can't take a compliment. So I guess my question to you is this sexual harassment because these guys are complimenting her toes that you can't even see? Or is she just giving off some Karen energy like the rest say? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
I want y'all to look at this picture, okay? Just look at it real good. That is not AI. That is not fake. I have ran it through the AI, check, whatever. It's a real photo. Now, when I asked ChatGPT, what's going on here? Of course, ChatGPT verifies that it's real. And they say that it looks like this because they're fueling up the Artemis 2. Really? Look at it. I mean, it looks like a giant inflatable. Are you kidding me? Now, wait a minute. Check this out, too. There's this another interesting point.
So we went to the moon today, apparently. But I have something I need you to explain to me. I'm going to show you a video, and if you could, let me know in the comments below what you think is happening right here.
Just wait. It gets so much better. Now check this out.
It won't take long for them to be caught out with the moon mission. Watch this plane. Did you see that? Watch this again. Watch the plane.
Yeah, sure we went to the moon. I'd love to know your thoughts on it. Let me know what you think.
Okay, did you guys see this video of the former Brazilian president? At some speech or some celebration, something, he's talking. This clip is going viral on Twitter again because of the nearly unfathomable sound that comes out of his voice box mid-sentence. And this leaves people with chills. People are flustered. I've never heard anything like this. I know people with raspy voices, and I know what voice cracks sound like. This sounds like a Call of Duty zombie. You could put this into a movie and it would sound good if it was a horror movie. Listen to this.
E ao mesmo tempo, nós não vamos parar por aí. Já estão.
What?
Encomendados. Deixa eu pegar uma pastilha. Já estão encomendados.
Bro is a zombie.
Estudos para
Just so you know, there is no official confirmation or explanation of what the Sam Damn This noise actually was. Some people say it was audio interference or some type of glitch, but there's been no official documentation of anything. This is what we're left with to guess. Now, if I had to picture or imagine the sound of what a demon would sound like, or a zombie, that literally sounds like the zombies in Call of Duty. So I'm not saying anything other than that I wonder what reptilians sound like. That's all I'm going to say. And is this like that Simpsons episode where they go and yank off the masks of the left and right wing politics, and both of their heads, they're aliens? Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below about this shocking situation, and follow for more. Now, if you made it this far, I should say that there's a whole lot more I'm going to be posting, but I do want to mention that right now Chalk is giving away free bags of the organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia. This is the Chalk Lit Powder. Super detoxing, freaking delicious. And if you combine that with the hot water purified shilajit or the ashwagandha, you're getting some of the most potent superfoods in the natural world. I'm talking fertility, brain function, hormones, energy levels, cognition, and your pineal gland. Comment free below and check your DMs for details.
You're having a bad day? Imagine going to eat a sandwich, and before you can take a single bite, a man walks up to you and gets you in the chest with a kitchen knife. That is exactly what happened to one man who just wanted to have a peaceful lunch to himself. Not only was he attacked by a complete stranger, he then had to fight this man off by himself while being wounded. and hungry because the man didn't even let him take a bite of his lunch. The grown man who chose to ruin everyone's day he came across is 67-year-old Stephen Nolan, who before getting absolutely obliterated with punches from a man who was just trying to eat his lunch, before Stephen Nolan even entered into this cafe to go after this unsuspecting victim, he had also done the exact same thing to a man who was simply walking down the sidewalk, neither of which had ever seen this man before in their lives. Thankfully, both of the victims survived, and he was arrested. We don't know if this poor man ever finished his lunch. However, after fighting this man off after being attacked, the cafe employees did rush him to the back while they detained the man for cops to arrive. As this man not only survived, but fought off this attacker, protecting him from doing the same thing to the employees at this cafe, this poor man is now getting free sandwiches from this cafe for life.
That's insane. What is that? It's like a star, a meteor. I've seen that before, I'm pretty sure. I've seen this clip before. It's actually crazy. And it seems real too. Literally ring camera, top left. It's like a star of lightning. That's weird. What is that? Oh, yeah, no, it's over. If I'm in that, it's over. It's over. It's actually, that's crazy. How does one even, oh boy, your belongings. Alright, a fire. We're starting off, well, not small, but like, I could see this developing into something insane. Especially how it's, yeah, a tornado, it's just wind. Fire literally lives off of oxygen. Yeah, it's over. That's why they say if your oven ever catches on fire, never fully open it. You're giving it oxygen to literally blow up. Yeah, as expected, it developed into something absolutely insane. How does one even control this fire? That's crazy. Oh, and it got 10 times bigger. That's actually wild. That's a wild fire. Anyone laugh? All right. I'll be quiet. It's getting smaller, I think. Way more smokier, though. That's a lot of smoke. It's literally a tornado. Looks like a legit natural fire. I can't tell if it's getting controlled or not. Thankfully, it was not in like a town.
Look at the top. Oh my God.
What is this?
Never.
What am I looking at here?
That is bizarre.
Does anyone know what this is? What is this? There's a trail from the sky to the water itself, and it's causing some sort of effect. Like it's smoking?
Susan, have you ever seen him? No.
Have both going towards it.
Look at the top, y'all. You can see the water coming down it.
It's not water coming down. That's not how it works. It's wind.
It's wind?
Yeah.
Hey, why did that happen?
I used to know. I don't know anymore.
Y'all, that is so cool. On your birthday, Harrison.
Anyone hear that? I used to know. I don't know anymore, though.
Who cares?
Bro,
Your own water spout on your birthday.
Water spout. Never heard of a water spout before till just
I wish
now.
I could call Will and Tara to look in the thing.
You can hang up.
No, I want to video it. It's too cool.
I'll video it.
Call Will and Tara.
Look at that.
Jacob, call Will. Look at it. Oh my God.
So I guess it's nothing crazy considering the fact that no
Terrace?
one's freaking out. Right? Considering the fact that no one's freaking out, I think it's fine.
coming right toward us.
What happens if it goes right towards you?
Y'all need to come up here.
Bro's just walking casually.
Hyper gonna get blown away.
Please tell us we see the boat. Oh my god, it's gonna touch the
Oh,
boat.
that's dumb.
Oh, 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 oh. Oh. Why is he just so calm? Imagine you get sucked into that, it's over for you.
Oh,
And it's back.
look, it just pick up right there.
Has anyone ever seen this?
Wow.
Wow, that's a first. I'm learning a lot of things about nature right now. These floods are insane, and you you're just inhaling water into your motor. People think going fast helps. You're just going into the water that you would have gone into regardless faster. Yep, and your motor's shot. Not in the 4 series. Not. Is that it? No. I was gonna say, if that's an M4, it's not.
Volcano in the Philippines just erupted and it produced lightning inside of its own ash cloud, and the footage looks absolutely unreal. I don't know if you can tell by my voice, but this is obviously insane. This volcano in the Philippines just had an explosive eruption that only lasted 2 minutes. But in just those 2 minutes, it launched glowing rock 1.5 kilometers up into the air, it sent superheated gas racing down the slopes, and blasted an ash plume 2,500 meters above the crater. But what's getting everybody's attention right now, including mine, is what happened inside of that plume. There was volcanic lightning that struck 3 times. You don't even know what that is, do you? They're saying that whenever a volcano erupts, billions of ash particles smash into each other at insane speeds, and that friction builds up static electricity. This is actually the same exact thing that happens whenever you run a birthday balloon all through your hair. Except the difference is that the charge gets so massive that it discharges as full bolts of lightning inside the ash. And the eruption also set the entire mountain on fire. Ash blanketed 13 entire cities, schools had to shut down, and families had to be evacuated, so it is serious. Perth literally said fire, ash, and lightning. Pick a struggle.
All the above, they said. No. No. You come home and you see that?
Oh my gosh, it's just missing that. Whatever that is.
Did it directly impact the house?
It's just missing that barn.
I think so. There, a fire guy drove back there too. I don't know if he got out of there. The house looks good to me.
Holy shit.
Wow. Wow. It's a stunning and rare look at a waterspout, not from the ground, but high in the clouds. This video was captured as a flight to Phuket, Thailand descended and storm clouds moved in. The passenger who recorded it said the funnel got at least 100 feet high as it snaked between the ocean and the clouds. And just like a tornado on land, a tornadic waterspout sprouts from severe thunderstorms.
So that's how they happen. Alright. Something tells me someone's lying here. Someone's lying
y'all
here.
let me know how y'all feel in the comment about this video, because this video is looking kind of real. Them kids seen what they saw and skedaddled. They got out that gym. They ain't waste no time on photo grade. Shit is crazy.
Another flood? Oh, the guy hanging onto his bike for dear life. I mean, what else do? You can't do anything. Oh boy. Insurance companies after this must suffer. Can only imagine their insurance premiums living there if you're exposed to stuff like this. Wow. That's bad. That's really bad. Wow, that's crazy. Poor cars.
You thought one giant sinkhole tearing Indonesia apart was bad? Tell me why they just found 700 sinkholes opening up in Turkey. And y'all, these things are not small either. They're talking about 150 feet deep and 150 feet wide. These things can swallow up buildings. Look at that. Don't that look like an eye? What the? Look at this, y'all. These things are giant.
This is one of 700 sinkholes that have opened up across Turkey. As you can see, they're not small ones. These are gigantic. Here's another one that opened up right in the middle of a farmer's field. You can see how large this is. So here's a video of the vastness of some of these sinkholes that was put out by the London Daily Mail. And they look like meteor craters. They're so big. These are drones that are flying inside of the sinkholes throughout Turkey. Like I said, there are 700 of these. And apparently in the book of Numbers, they talk about sinkholes opening up like this sometime. And apparently this is happening all throughout Turkey very rapidly. I didn't really realize it was quite so.
And here's the crazy thing. I read up on Turkey, and apparently they have a whole bunch of underground cities there, if you guys know what I'm talking about. But do you guys believe this has anything to do with this? Because whenever we hear about this, y'all, we never hear the ending to this, right? We'll see this, so many people will videotape this, but we never hear anything related to this. Like, why? What is this? What is this, y'all? And then there's actual books that speak about this. When we see this, you know, this is like a bad omen, you know, but in a good way, right? The endings, beginnings. But yeah, y'all, giant sinkholes open up in Turkey. Not one of them, but 700, y'all. But yeah, something is definitely happening under there, y'all. The bunkers, y'all. Remember? Let me know down in the comments, y'all. The shift is here. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
Oh. That's going straight to them if it's not controlled.
About to make the biggest fire roll you've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm ready for it. Getting ready for spots? Getting ready for spots, or if it just... Alright.
Lethal ball lightning is attacking over 400 million people, and once it sees you, you cannot get away fast enough. People were terrified after scientists claimed that ball lightning is not lightning at all, but a dire weapon created by nature that can rip open people in seconds. We're documenting sightings of it entering homes through walls and closed windows without breaking them, and following people through rooms. Hollywood reports show it came out of a family's fireplace during a storm, knocked the father unconscious, and burned 30% of his 5-year-old daughter's body. And 87 documented cases cases show it appearing inside airplanes, floating down aisles past passengers, with half the passengers then exploding. But it gets much stranger as witnesses expose that it moves against the wind, changes direction on its own, locks onto a person, and follows them from room to room, with one caught on camera just hovering still for 23 seconds as it was just watching the person. Find Next will not be on this app for long. Lethal ball lightning is attacking over 400 million people, and once it sees you, you cannot get away fast enough. People were terrified after scientists claimed that ball lightning is not lightning at all, but a dire weapon created by nature that can rip open people in seconds, with documented sightings of it entering homes through walls and closed windows without breaking them, and following people through rooms. Haunting reports show it came out of a family's fireplace during a storm, knocked the father unconscious, and burned 30% of his 5-year-old daughter's body. And 87 documented cases show it appearing inside airplanes, floating down aisles past passengers, with half the passengers then exploding. But it gets much stranger as witnesses expose that it moves against the wind, changes direction on its own, locks onto a person, and follows them from room to room, with one caught on camera just hovering still for 23 seconds as it was just watching the person. Find Next will not be on this app for long.
Buddy, you're good. It's a bad day. Come here. You're good. Just stand there. You're good.
That's cool.
Hi.
What?
Come here, G.
Oh, you're fine.
Oh, Lord. G, come here for a job. All right. All right. What was that?
Just going over there.
Everybody okay?
Yeah.
It's still going.
Yeah.
We're good. Y'all all right? It's still going.
Have you guys seen what occurred in Nebraska? It was something that was out of this world. Take a look at this.
You guys,
Check
this is
this
not
out.
time-lapse, manipulated video. This is actually live right now. The camera every once in a while moving around too, but that is a lot of lightning. And that's been happening, accompanying winds of 60, 70, even up to 90 miles an hour
Wow.
in the eastern part of
Hear
Nebraska.
that?
So unfortunately, I was just checking on the power outage situation. We're talking about, about 18,000 customers that are all of a sudden without power across Nebraska due to these powerful storms.
So you have a thunderstorm in Nebraska at almost 6 a.m. where almost 18,000 people lost power. But did you see how frequent and how fast that lightning was lighting up the sky? Take a look at this other video I got. Look at this video right here. What does that look like to you? Tell me what you think that is. That lightning? That's insane. Look at this. So once again, I'm going to ask you the question. That looks like lightning that we're all used to seeing. Am I right? What does this look like to you? Does it look like the same bolt of lightning I just showed you? Because once again, that didn't look like what they're claiming it looks like. But let me know your thoughts in the comments as to what you think that was. Was it a thunderstorm or was it something else? And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
What? How? That's crazy. That's wild.
Rogue waves were thought to be just folklore until a few decades ago. Like a brain aneurysm, they're difficult to predict and extremely dangerous. It's like they attack out of nowhere. Reports describe them as a wall of water, steep and with a deep trough that just plummets down. Normally, waves occur from wind. There's also the occasional underwater disturbance like earthquakes or landslides. But all those have a series of waves, even if they are miles apart. But a rogue wave is a single massive wave, at least twice the size of all the others. Which, mathematically, where did all this extra energy come from? In 2008, the Riverdance cargo ferry was just 10 miles from its destination when it was hit by a rogue wave. A Norwegian tanker was hit in 1974, and even in freshwater Lake Superior. It's believed a rogue wave sunk the SS Edmund Fitzgerald in a storm. Rogue waves are uncommon and essentially impossible to predict. So not much is known about them yet, but they appear to happen most frequently off the southeast coast of South Africa, probably due to a collision with wave swells and currents, where the current acts as like a kind of optical lens and focuses the wave's energy into a single point.
Those are rocks. Those are literal rocks falling from the sky. Boulders, if you will.
This footage documents an error in the matrix simulation. A clear demarcation line is visible between an area receiving no rainfall and an area receiving heavy rainfall. This footage is consistent with a rendering boundary error in the precipitation system. In a natural atmosphere, rainfall gradients do not produce hard boundaries of this nature. The boundary is observed moving toward the recording location at a consistent rate. One witness on the ground appeared to cross the boundary on foot without incident. Monitoring for additional errors of this nature is ongoing.
Whoa! Hey! Oh!
Is that thing gonna fall off too? Is that machine gonna Why did you stop recording? Move. It's literally going your way. It's going your way.
Is that a fucking tornado coming down?
Yeah. Whoa. Whoa.
This was not weather. This was a target. Something in the cloud required immediate engagement. This was captured on a phone camera. A missile was launched into the formation. A contained detonation occurred inside the cloud. A black object exited at high speed immediately afterward. The cloud structure then collapsed and fell. Ownership remains unverified. Direct approach is not advised.
Oh my god. Oh, no, Dave, no! Dave! Ah!
Holy shit. Hey, bro.
There are places on Earth where the ground can literally collapse beneath your feet. Sinkholes form when the ground below the surface erodes away and the surface eventually can't hold it anymore and collapses. It's most common in areas with limestone or gypsum below the surface because those rocks are more prone to being eroded by rainwater or groundwater. Some common areas here in the US that see sinkholes are Florida, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Texas. Back in the 80s in Winter Park, Florida, a massive sinkhole opened up that swallowed part of a neighborhood and their entire swimming pool. And then also in Florida in 2013, a sinkhole opened up beneath a man's house while he was sleeping. And then in Bowling Green, Kentucky in 2014, a sinkhole opened beneath the Corvette Museum and swallowed 8 rare Corvettes. But sinkholes happen all over the world. They're actually pretty common in Guatemala. They have seen some pretty big ones, including this one in 2010 that swallowed an entire 3-story factory. Now, because we have dug all underground to put water mains and sewer pipes, our aging infrastructure is actually causing leaks that can then cause sinkholes. I used to have an irrational fear of sinkholes as a child, and every time I see one on the news these days, it reignites that fear.
Yup, our ground is now opening up and swallowing people whole, and we are not only experiencing biblical level disasters, but it is happening exactly as the Bible warned, and we are approaching the end. People were terrified after an almost 10,000 square feet sinkhole opened up in Bangkok, Thailand, right next to the Bahira Hospital, swallowing up cars and almost the entire hospital building. With the Bible predicting in Isaiah 24:17-20 that when our earth starts breaking down violently and swallowing us whole, it will be much too late to run. Haunting reports show sinkholes recently opening up in Brazil, 42 in Turkey alone, a lot of the southern states in the US, China, and many parts of the UK, and this is all happening at once with no warning. But it gets stranger as many experts were reporting these were all just pipe bursts, even though the hole was completely hollow and went very far down, much bigger than any pipe. And given how fast it happened, many do not believe this is human caused.
The world is focusing on Florida. Not many people know that the Sahara Desert is flooding right now. And the pictures are insane. After 6 consecutive years of drought, the Moroccan Sahara was hit with what meteorologists called an extra tropical storm. And it brought an amount of rain that the region hasn't seen in up to 50 years. And here's the crazier part. This flooding may actually change the course of the region's weather for months and years to come. That's because the air will now retain more moisture, which causes more evaporation and draws in more storms. NASA satellites showed water rushing in to fill the famous Lake Erie, which had been dry for almost 50 years.
Wow.
You're like a funnel now, Bill.
This dude said they was up under a tornado warning at the truck stop, and the truck stop done closed the doors and locked them. Watch this.
The TA in Mount Vernon, Illinois. Do not come here. We are currently under a tornado warning. And these fools want to lock the doors where we cannot get inside and take shelter. It's crazy. So yeah, the TA in Mount Vernon, Illinois, I do not suggest coming to it.
Wake up, gods! There's a divine being out there manipulating their plasma using it as a Merkaba light body vehicle. And they describe this phenomenon as ball lightning. But pay attention. Plasmoids are coherent structures of plasma and magnetic fields, often described
So this does
as
exist.
ball lightning.
It is real.
We can control our plasma and create plasmoids to become superhuman. Jubilee, she creates plasmoids as her powers. And if you still don't believe that we can do this, look at this. The chakras, our electromagnetic field, it all looks the same. It's shaped like a star. Look at the shapes. Once you unlock your chakras, you elevate to a higher frequency. The sky people, our ancestors, the stars, they travel with Merkaba, their light body vehicles, and they can do what they want and go where they want to go. Your body has an electromagnetic field and you create plasmoids through trapping plasma within a magnetic field. Or you can shoot high voltage electricity at gas. And you have that in your body already. Nikola Tesla already knew about the body having electromagnetic fields and giving off free energy. We have to master science. Then we can elevate our frequency and move how we want to move.
Fucking Lord, no! Oh my God!
No.
Dude, no!
Oh my God.
Come on! Juices are getting cooked! I say again, the juices are getting cooked! Get out the house, man. Just let
Through.
that out.
Poor car. Oh, wow. What do you even do? What do you even do at that point? You just pull over and just wait it out? Oh.